What's going on, guitar fans? It's Chavez from 812 Guitars, your favorite luthier. What's going on, guys? I just want to show you this little project that I've been working on for a while. There's a longer story with it. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it's for a friend of mine. His name is Gene Marbach. He's, of all the local guys I know, he's probably one of my favorite guitar players. He has this wonderful ability to he paints as he plays, and I hate him for it. Anyway, there's a link with his guitar and my old job where I started doing this kind of work, East Coast Music Mall in Danbury, Connecticut. So we'll explain that later on when you see the photos and stuff, or whenever I post them. Here, check this out. And here we go. It's a Strat! Oh my god. Oh yeah, everybody, come on, freak out. Anyway, this is one of my signature RRTs. Now, for the rest of you guys that don't know what that means, an RRT is one of two things. It's either a guitar that you bring me that's busted up, that I'm going to remake into something special for you, or typically it's a Strat, kind of like this guy, alright? Now, sometimes I'll, just source, bodies and whatever and this and that. But in this case, Gene already had the body. Now, since his old neck was already cracked and busted, I replaced it, which you can see already. But let's start here at the body. Alright, so here's some details, alright? Vinyl pickguard. Now, I do plenty of these. I charge what I charge for these. But the biggest thing for a lot of you guys, if you want one, keep in mind, depending on what the disc is, it can get expensive. For me to get this specialized disc with Clapton on the cover like this is actually a special radio-only edition disc. Alright, this cost me a couple of bucks, so it was literally 85 bucks out of pocket. If you're lucky, you might find it a little bit cheaper, but it's very rare. This one was completely untouched, so me destroying it was a pleasure. But, any case, so let's move on. So we're using a lot of stock parts in here. One of the things I did change, though, was his bridge. The bridge he had was okay, but this is actually an older one. This is a Japanese version of the American bridge, so it has the American spec, but yet it has the metric style parts in here. Was it necessary? No, I just thought it was freaking cool, so whatever, eat me. Another thing I'm doing, too, is I'm going to be adding all brass screws on this. These other ones are just here temporarily. The brass is an inside joke with me and a couple of the guys. Scotty, I know you're listening. Now, another thing too, since we're keeping a lot of the parts in here stock, I did make some changes, because Gene is an absolute bang-on player. So, if you look, it's a three-way switch. Alright? 1, 2, 3. How does that work in here? I'm not telling you yet. I'm going to get some video of Gene playing this, and then you'll see how it works. Because there's a lot more trick stuff going on right in here. Besides that, I'm getting one of my signature shotgun shell knobs. These are made for me by a guy in Indiana. He mills them on a lathe for me, and now you can buy these things, similar ones that are actually shotgun shell knobs with the plastic inserts, but the thing about them is that they break. This doesn't, because it's solid. It cost me a hunk of money for these things, and I'll tell you right now, worth every penny. Alright, let's move on. So, here's our neck. Now, like I said right before, we replaced his neck. This right here is a Mighty Mite. Why do I use these things? Well, they're cheap, but the thing about them is that I haven't had a bad one yet. And they're very stable. I've already sent 2 guitars out with these necks, and they've taken some bad tumbles, and all I hear about is, wow, it still stayed in tune. So, hey, what can I say? Anyway, so let's take a look. So, besides the obvious, which are these really cool inlays, and let me see, I don't know if we can get the color happening in there. Maybe, kind of, sort of. So, besides that, and the fact that they're a little askew through the frets, which the normal player can't play because it's annoying, Gene ain't gonna have a problem. Trust me, he's an awesome player. But it starts off here at the top at 10 foot, and we end at about 12. I say about because I ended up freehanding this. I didn't use any of those radius and blocks or anything like that. I actually just, again, simple straight edge flattening block, and I just, went by feel. Why did I have to? Well, again, it's for Gene. He just loves these stupid little details, and so I'm going to give him the best guitar I can ever give him. Now, let's move on. We got an awesome headstock. And this is the one that Gene really loves a lot. Now, another thing you're going to notice is that this has this wonderful goldish color. Now, obviously, maple doesn't look like this. It looks more akin to like this horrible, crappy brush, if you can imagine. And even then, this brush is actually a little more pink. But all this finish, and if we flip them over, better cover that up. All this finish is actually laid in by hand. This is actually French polish. All right. There's approximately, 35 coats on this. To be honest with you, I lost track after 28, so there might be a little bit more than 35. But it was a matter of layering, cutting back, layering, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it gets boring. Now, you'll notice that it looks a little messed up over here. You're like, well, what's going on, man? You messed up on the paint or what? Yeah, I did it on purpose. I wanted this to have just a slight bit of this worn look to it. Now, mind you, it's actually not on the clear coat, though. That's actually the bottom coat. And that's actually natural shellac in its natural finish. When you build it up, it turns orange, and it's a beautiful color. So, this is going to be left for Gene to destroy, which hopefully he'll do a good job, because he's a good boy. Now, another thing too, another signature for 812, especially for the RRTs. If you notice, the neck heel is literally right all the way up to the body. Now, typically fender ends right about here. I always hear complaints about guys that need access. Believe it or not, notching this right here allows the thumb to come in all the way, and then your pinky and everything else to just come right on top, no issue. And here's another one of those specialized things for an 812. The awesome neck plate. This is made for me by another guy, nice gentleman over in Arizona. And anyway, whenever I source a lot of my parts, I always make sure I source stuff from the US and small-time guys, no different than me. So whenever you're buying an 812 guitar, or you know, even something like this, an RRT, you can at least be safe and assured that, like, you know, I'm not, you know, boasting you with any kind of like wacky, cheapy Chinese parts or whatever. I'm sick and tired of that stuff, so that's why I do what I do. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's a beautiful guitar. I really can't wait for Gene to turn this on. I'm actually already kind of thinking I might change these pickups. I might have to call my buddy Jerry Centel of Centel Pickups to change these out for me. And other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too boring. And anyway, have a good one. Remember, 812 Guitars, axe hot rodding, chopper style. And don't forget the beer.